Hey guys, RB here. Good morning. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and prepping up for the next week. So here's a small video, kind of trying to share where we are with SPX and what kind of expectations that I have from the upcoming week. Again, a big week with mega earnings there. We have Microsoft and Apple and Meta and Amazon reporting. I think Microsoft and Meta comes on Wednesday after hours, and Amazon and Apple comes on Thursday after hours, right? And if you have seen my weekly charts on these tickers, we almost got the bottoms in the last video that I recorded and shared for all mag 7, right? So MSFT I wanted like 360. I think we dipped a little bit lower into 350s, 346, something like that. Meta came into the right spot as we wanted. Apple was a little lower, but Amazon did held the level that we were looking at, right? And with all that selling that has happened in the last month after earnings, selling more, uh, may not happen, right? So I wouldn't be really bearish on any of the earnings or after earnings price action. Earnings may be, I don't know how they're gonna be. I think they're just gonna be fine, but I don't think that there would be a much bearish action in any of those four names. Um, and with that expectation, just because they kind of tested the demand just like 5 or 10 days ago, right? And from there, the action could be flat, could be mildly bearish, mildly bearish when I say like not a 4-5% drop, maybe a percent drop or so, or could be a mildly bullish. But I would stay on the positive side of it. There is no reason for me to short any of these, right? And either I play or I just sit on the side and see what happens. So if you see from the Tesla standpoint, Tesla sold from like 480s to 200s, and despite majorly negative earnings, which I think was pretty much expected, and there was no big announcements being done, just very wild guesses, I guess. I would say this is gonna come, that's gonna come. We know that's everything is coming, but there are no definitive dates and all that. But still, Tesla has moved from lower 200s to now getting close to 300, right? So and Google performed well. Another of my prediction was Netflix getting into 1100 from the 880, and that happened as well. All right. So similarly, right now I do not have any such major bearish expectations on these four names either. So that's how we're gonna start thinking about this week, right? From the chart perspective, if you see here, right, just looking at the daily chart, a massive move here, in the last few days, like 5 days, just right from 5100 where we were getting bullish. I wanted like a 5120, 5050 sort of a dip, and it bounced right from 5100, and after that we had like fine 5 days, moving it higher, right? And now we are at a point where two things have happened. One, it broke out from this downtrend since started in February, and the second thing is right now it closed into the gap, a big gap which is open here, right? And it broke above from our 5485 level as well, which we were looking at on last Friday, right? From my last Thursday's post. Now, if you go into a little bit of shorter term or the shorter intervals, like 4 hours, I talked in my last post that that it doesn't have to reverse, though I would want it to reverse a little bit, at least test the liquidity below uh, into like 5430 level. I'll show you in the 1 hour chart. But it like had a mild dip just into 5455 or something like that on a Friday, and then just started breaking out, right? So these candles are not screaming bear. Now look into the hourly chart as well. So what I was looking at on Friday was that we get rejected from our 5485 level somewhere here, right? And while it started kind of creating that dip, the dip was mildly into the previous liquidity spot, just right here. That was, I think, 5455 or 5458, right? It just dipped below it and started rising higher. And this kind of shows me the strength that the bulls had on Friday, and now it started basing right above 5500 5485 level. So right now, I mean, as much as I would want it to reverse immediately, at futures open and Sunday night, that it starts making red candles by making this a false breakout. I have to keep the bullish case in the mind as well, right? So if it's breaking out, if it does not go and break below my Friday's low, which was again 5457, 5458, right? There is no reason for me to go bearish on it, right? So as long as that is holding, and I think if it stays bullish, I think 5500 is gonna hold as well. So I do not expect this breach of 5500 to be reversed. But again, I mean, to have a confirmation that we are kind of making a bigger dip into this demand zone, I would need a candle like this, right? If this does not happen, there is no reason to be bearish to get started, and it has to happen on a Monday because right now we are already in a breakout. So if on Monday it starts making candles like this, yeah, then I would say that the least path to resistance will be on the upside, then on going and breaking this and pushing it on the lower side. So tomorrow is the key. If bears can't do this, then there is no retracement coming back down into these lower levels like this. And why I was thinking of getting this lower level drop was simply because I was looking at this to be creating five waves as this, like a one, two, three, four, five. Now here is the deal. If this goes a little bit up further, you would see that the wave 3 becomes the smaller, because I think it's smaller than wave 1. We can just simply go and measure that just to have a confirmation. So your wave 1 started here, was about 207 points, 4%, right? And when you are looking into wave 3, from here into this, this was about 234. Okay, no, so wave 3 is bigger than wave 1, right? So that's all right if the fifth wave goes a little higher. But yeah, coming to the same point, I was looking at this to be as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So 5 waves, and then you give me a reversal into an ABC formation. Um, right like this, and come back to this demand and the support from the bottom, and then we go for the next leg up into into 5700, right? Right here. So this is what exactly I was looking at. And like I said, if on Monday we get this kind of a candle dropping it back, we'll know we're in a reversal. Now the target for this reversal would be again 50% to 61%. Right here, if I just put the measurement, let's just see where it comes. Let's see, it comes right from here, and you see that gap close, or this demand where market is just right at 50%, and it's a support from the bottom. I'm doing the kind of live analysis right now. I haven't pre-reviewed it or anything like that. So just working as I am reviewing the chart, just recording as I'm reviewing this chart with you guys, right? So now this is the key, right? So immediate reversal here, push it down, and we can get this ABC, and then we can move higher, right? So let's say if we get this move, how much 100% extension of this would look like? Comes right into my levels, right? So works beautifully. But here's my thing: the way I, the words I shared in the beginning was that we are in a breakout. We need a big red candle dropping below 5457, the previous Friday roll, which means you are just kind of making a bearish engulfing candle to this overall candle that you got on Friday, right? Reversing the trend. As simple as that. When that happens, you make a lower low, then you chop up a little bit, and then you slowly start dropping towards, probably towards 53.60 first, bounce up, and then you come to 53.10, right? An ideal scenario of making an ABC, just very similar to what we have ABC right here. This B was much more lower than 50%. Here I'm just looking at 50%. Can it go lower to 61%? Probably yes, right? Kind of a fake down and then move up. So that can happen too, but we will target only 5300 at this point of time. So that's a bearish case, and the bullish case simply is that this is going in a different way than being a 1 2 3 4 5 and then coming ABC and making another 1 2 3 4 5 up like a zigzag move. Probably, the other possible option is that it's again a combo wave. When I say a combo wave, it's a combination of multiple legs. So probably not a ABC but a WXY, where you have these minors ABCs like an A, B, and C, and you have mark this as a W, and then you have an X, and you have a Y going on. So end result is gonna be the same, where it's heading into, right? And instead of just getting a very deep pullback into 53.10, what merely may happen, or could have already happened, is that we had this either an A, a B, and now we are in a C, which means we'll have a good upthrust candle here, because this, if this was 1 2, I may make a big 3 candle right here, moving it higher, just closing the gap on Monday with probably some news coming in or anything like that. I may just do this on Monday, hitting 5600, right? During the day, right? Something like that. So the way I would be looking into the count in this case is just as this, right? So as you go into the shorter window, you will see that we had 1 2 3 4 and 5, marking an A, a very small B. If you recall my Friday's post, I was looking at a retracement into the 5430 or into 5400, and that was the reason, because I was thinking that if 5 waves are complete and I'm only gonna get a small dip, it's gonna be at least 50% or 61%, something like that. But my key area was 5430. That's what I tweeted as well, or shared in the Discord as well. But if you see, we did not even go into 38% in total. That was like a hardly 23% dip, and then we started moving higher, right? So kind of very hard to predict how low it's gonna go when we talk about premium and discount. We at least wanted it to come to like a 50%, and 50% was the area I was looking at on Friday, but that did not happen, right? So given these 5 waves are complete, it made sense for it to go lower, but it did not. But now, if let's say if it's starting to make another move up from there, the B was complete. This is where I look this to be a 1 2 and a 3 candle coming on Monday, and then we're making an headway into our higher levels just right out of the bat from here, right? So with B completing here and Y just getting into that. And this is where I also mentioned on Thursday that when we are in a bear market rally, which we are kind of saying right now that we are in a bear market rally. Dips can be very smaller. They could be breakouts. They can just hang around on the top edges, just space. and then just keep moving up. It doesn't sometimes retraces as much as we want it to retrace to get our new entries, so the new buys. And this is where you hold your long-term positions through ETFs or something. But the dips are where we like to get into options, right? So two big scenarios here: hold this 5500 range and you make a massive move up on Monday, or if you see it starting opening up red, already going below 5500, you wanted to confirm that it wants to go lower by breaking below 5450, and then we have a clue that okay, we are heading lower again. My intention is not to short anything which is going red at this point, because simply this is an uptrend move. And when we say uptrend, you clearly see we are making, a higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and again another higher high and another higher low, and moving up, right? So there is no need to kind of try to scalp, or short or trade every leg. But let's see if Monday starts the dip. I would like to see a dip into 5400 and lower, looking from the strength and the price pattern. We'll be probably able to see if we are getting a deeper one, or just 5400 and we buy it either at 5400 or we will buy at 5300, right? So that's something that we will look into if that happens, right? Or it just simply goes. The plan for me is that as it heads into this 5700 next week, if this turns out to be a bullish case as stated, I am looking to close some of my long-term positions right here, because so far the structure that we have got is very corrective, right? So it's very hard to say that we are making a bullish impulse wave. There are ways to make it bullish impulse. Just if I make this particular leg as a shortened or a truncated leg for this correction, right? So this correction which has made a bottom here, and this leg which we were expecting at that point of time to make another low into 4600, that did not happen. Probably it got truncated. But when you start making such consideration, that's an assumption, right? And making that assumption and keep going long and long, thinking that it's going to get into all-time high with certain uncertainties, at this point with the trade wars and all that, may not be the best thing to do. So my idea would be simply that as it gets into, the supply 5700, 5770 or something like that, into these higher levels, into the supply zone, better to kind of scale out, and then just wait and watch and see what happens, right? What kind of price pattern is building. But if this turns out to be a truncated 5, the count becomes really very simple. That this was my wave 1. I had an ABC to retracement 2, and now I'm in a wave 3, right? And this wave 3 will just keep on going. It will have no solid rejection from 5772. It'll start basing above, and if it start basing above and there is no rejection in a day or so after that, we'll get to know that okay, yeah, no, that's something different, and we can start working through the next plan from there onwards. And I'm sure some opportunities will show up with the dips to kind of trade along. But overall, I mean, you kind of get an idea that the levels which are important, and how to kind of trade that. Now, just another thing that you may want to look at is VIX. So I shared this level of 24 95 on Thursday to be of importance, and for a period of moments it kept spiking a little bit. If you see from the shorter time frame, it gave us those dips which came on Friday. But right now the way it closed, it looks like it's breaking into the gap, like the SPX has broken into the gap as well, right? So if VIX keeps pushing, we're gonna see 22.36 on VIX, right? Or maybe 20 as well, right? So both things that you have to keep a watch, whether a VIX starts spiking from here and the SPX starts breaking 5500, or they both go in the bullish direction where VIX drops below and SPX holds 5500 and we get a very strong bullish Monday to begin with, right? So that's two things that I'll be looking at and trading along. I hope this helps to kind of get an idea on what to expect and um, hope you find this whole information useful, right? Coming from the other things like the macros, we have jobs data with Jolt opening on Tuesday, and the housing price indexes as well. Then we are looking into ADP data on Wednesday. GDP data comes as well, and there is more on PCE and PMI, along with all the earnings, and Friday's NFP, right? So there's a lot of macro data along with big earnings. So gonna be a very nice volatile week to trade. All right, with that, I wish you good luck, and if you like my videos, please do subscribe, share, and I thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.